I'm Betsy Pisak. I'm from the United States, and my initial training is as a journalist, which is a 30-year history for me, and I've spent 11 of those 30 years covering the United Nations, and it was absolutely fascinating. I am currently working on the memoirs of former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, and it's...
Get the mic closer to your mouth.
Okay, sorry. I am currently working on the memoirs of UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon. He's very interesting. He's met everyone. He's spent a lot of time here in India. I find that switching to memoir from journalism was surprisingly difficult at first. The skills that journalism requires, normally I would talk to someone and then double check what they said or even triple check. With a memoir, that's not so important because it's so subjective. In a way, it's the ultimate authorized biography. The Secretary General is reviewing every word, and it's very controlled by comparison. It's not objective, and it's subjective, and in a way, it's more educational, and I'm very grateful for that. Please excuse my notes. I was expecting to be jet lagged, so that's like it's insurance. Sorry. Writing memoirs, it's someone else's recollection. It's very little bit of my experience. Normally I would speak to experts, I would do research, and with this, I'm still doing that, talking to people that has worked with the Secretary General, and of course looking at clips. I do a lot of research from YouTube because it's a visual. Ask somebody how many steps there are at the General Assembly and they don't know, but you can see it on television and there it is, there are 4. Because it's so subjective, it's someone else's reality in a way, and journalism does not require that. And I could go on, but that's the idea. I will pass the mic, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Hi everyone, my name is Shutava Paul. I have just now released an unauthorized biography of West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, who is also the party chief. This is for Betsy's information. She was asking me all about Mamata Banerjee, but I think everybody here in this hall definitely knows a lot about her. She's a very interesting character, Betsy. She is a grassroots leader. She is extremely attractive and enigmatic to a lot of the rural folk. The highbrow, snooty ones don't like her much, but there too she has been able to, change their mind, at least in Bengal. Ahead of 2019 elections, she is becoming even more vociferously discussed because of how she's taking on the center, and she wants to play a more national role. She is probably throwing in her hat into the prime ministerial race. And what's interesting about Mamata Banerjee, what made me choose her as the subject of the biography, I'm from Calcutta. I've worked outside in Delhi, but as a third person, it was very interesting for me to see what was happening. I had reported on Mamata Banerjee when she was, coming to power. She had defeated 34 years of left front rule. I saw the changes that were happening in the state. I saw the problems that still existed in the state, and my publisher, Penguin, and I, we decided that it would be interesting to have a third person who's actually, from the state, but has a slightly detached distanced view of the leader. And for me, it was interesting because she is a very interesting character. I believe that, we're all here. We've been we've been told by Rahul that just have a discussion. So I would like to talk about things which meant a lot to me when I was writing the book. What shaped my mind. If you're interested in a biography, most people think it's boring. I believe that the way I have written it, it's almost like a novel, even though it's based on a real person. My idea was that she's a polarizing factor. Lots of people love her, lots of people hate her. I wanted all the people to read my book, whether you like her, you don't like her. So I was governed by the tenets of journalism, and it actually helped me, which Betsy said that, writing memoirs is a little different from journalism. It definitely is. The style in which I've written, it helped me because writing the biography of a living politician is extremely difficult, especially when they don't agree to be part of your project. So I had met Mamata Banerjee in Feb of last year, and I approached her and I told her about this, and I said that, I would like to write about you, and I am writing about you. I would like a few interviews. And she said, no, I've written enough about myself, you can read it, in her typical style, dismissively. So that did not deter me because I had already done my groundwork. So when the person that you're writing a biography about refuses, how do you actually go about completing that project? That became for me a major challenge for that whole year. It was about getting all these interviews done without actually letting anybody come to know that I'm working on it. So it was a complete top secret project. Like Penguin wanted to put it on their, every year in January, all the major publishers put out a list of upcoming titles, and Penguin was very keen to put it, and I put my foot down and I said, not happening. I'm superstitious, you can call me scared, you can call me anything, but I'm not putting it out because I know that there are ramifications, there are consequences of writing about somebody who is alive, active, and probably not too happy that you're writing the book, in the first place. So I'll come back to lots of other aspects that stand out, but I'll let Ruben have a shot and talk about his wonderful book and experience too.
Thank you. It's great to be back in Guwahati. I'm a journalist essentially, and my current job is I'm the editor of Outlook magazine. And as a journalist, I used to cover Northeast when I was with Indian Express and India Today. And I'm back in this town after 16 years, so it's great to be back. Now, talking about biographies, see, as a journalist, I also see myself as someone who records history. Journalism is a fleeting exercise, whether you are in a newspaper or a magazine. Magazine has a slightly longer shelf life than a newspaper. The newspaper dies out, goes to the dustbin the next day. And television, it doesn't last for more than a few seconds or a few hours. So we need to record history and speak truth to power. And I emphasize on this because speaking truth to power is something very, very essential. And I was just thinking about it. Now that I'm back in Assam after so many years, I had covered lots of politicians, lots of insurgencies, lots of violence. I had a close brush with death once myself here when that Operation Rhino was going on against Alpha. I think if I had the time, and I guess there are some journalists here, I would suggest write a biography on Hemanta Biswa Sharma. Honestly, fascinating character. And the most talked about politician, a polarizing figure. Maybe someone should take a look. But when you write such a biography, you should also be prepared for the repercussions. See, for me, writing a book, writing a biography, like, why have I chosen to do a book on Orissa Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik? Now, it's very difficult to pitch a book on Naveen Patnaik, the Orissa Chief Minister sitting in Assam, because you guys will not be interested normally. But I'll tell you a few salient points that why I decided to write on Naveen. He is the second longest serving Chief Minister in India now, contemporary India. Possibly many of you would not know this. The longest serving Chief Minister is Pawan Kumar Chamdin of Sikkim, who has been the Chief Minister since 1994. But because it is Sikkim, a small mountainous state tucked somewhere else, in some hard corner of the country, nobody really cares. And after that, it was Manik Sarkar of Tripura who had been elected the Chief Minister in 1998, but then he lost early last year. And after that it has been Navin Patnaik who has been the Chief Minister continuously since 2000. So he is in the 19th year as a Chief Minister. So an entire generation has grown up in Odisha looking at seeing Navin Patnaik as their only Chief Minister. They have not seen any other leader. And if he wins the next election, which is due in another 3 months, he'll get a shot at fifth term. And so one of the second longest serving Chief Ministers, it's a rare phenomenon in India, someone who keeps winning elections, and he's the least talked about politician. He doesn't even give you interviews. So, and in 2014, it so happened that I was abroad for 12 years. I left India and I had gone to work outside. And I was fascinated by this gentleman's electoral success. He kept winning elections and after elections. And in 2014, when Narendra Modi came to power at the center, everyone started talking about Gujarat model, that apparently his Gujarat model is hugely successful. Then I told myself, then what about the Orissa model of Navin Patnaik? That seems to be even more successful. Because here is a gentleman who keeps winning elections. And Navin Patnaik is a fascinating character, particularly because can you ever imagine your Assam Chief Minister, say Sarbanand Sonowal, becoming the Chief Minister of Assam without speaking a word of Assamese? Not possible. Navin Patnaik still does not speak Odia. Okay. He did not speak Odia when he first contested. He does not speak Odia even now. In fact, he is more fluent in French than possibly English and Odia. So he was by far a fascinating character for me. And it wasn't only this.